Hi there, welcome to Garbag Games. This is Star Trek Morpheus.
Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Star Trek Morpheus. I'm Pete, and in a moment we'll go round and everyone say who they are, what they're doing here, and anything else pertinent. I think there's probably a captain's log coming. But before we do, please don't forget to go and check out our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. We have a growing Discord with lots of people on there talking about maps, adventures and all kinds of games. So please go check that out as well. There's links below. We also have a Patreon. Everyone who supports us helps to make it a bit better for everybody else, from all the kit and equipment we have to the games and dice and all the things that we have to play those games. So please go and check that out as well and consider supporting the channel. We also have things on Redbubble and DriveThruRPG, which we've got on links below as well. And some of the guys have got cups with things on them that you'll probably see throughout the... thank you. Wonderful assistance. And also, finally, check out our... Not finally, sorry. I've got two more things. Check out our other shows. I know. Whoa. Yeah. Check out our other shows. So we've got Vostok's Chance, our Scion RPG show going on at the moment. And we're about to do the finale of Season 2 of Flint and Steel, our Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay show, which is going to end in a big battle in the top of a tower in a castle. So that's going to be fun. The final thing... Not all of them. The final thing is, please go and check out our friends Thornless Rose. There is a link below. I've got a nice dice rolling tray here that's made from leather using lasers.
You can make leather using lasers?
I know, it's great, isn't it?
Is the capsule alive? Or?
And it looks a bit like this, and it's like a cool thing with poppers and stuff. They're doing lots of other things on their Etsy and Redbubble stores, and they are doing a D20 leather dice bag, which other Sam has shown off on the channel. Not this Sam.
Not me, the other one.
The other Sam.
We'll all look at you confused.
Yeah. Confirm that, please, Sam.
Not me.
Okay. There's a representative of Sam's.
Yes. On behalf of all Sam's evidence.
Saying not this Sam.
We don't have like a committee.
Yeah.
Why not?
Adams used to have a committee, but I killed all the others.
Okay, right, fair enough.
There can only be one.
Okay. Also, if you are a member of the Garblag Tabletop Gaming community on Facebook, there is a discount code on there. I'm not going to tell you what it is because that would give it away. Don't say it if you've seen it. Please go and check that out on Facebook. I'm going to put a link below for that as well. That's going to run until Sunday. What's the date on Sunday, everybody? 7th. Sunday the 7th. So you've got a day or two after we put this up on Saturday to actually take advantage of that. There's a discount on all their Etsy and Redbubble stuff. This is going to be the first of several things we do with the Thornless Rose, so please keep an eye out. So that's really cool.
Given that this is aired on Saturday, that's tomorrow.
It is tomorrow, so you've got a day and a bit, because I'll hopefully get this up early on Saturday, which in America will probably be Friday. Somewhere, maybe. Depends on what time I get it up. Anyway, okay.
Some of the West Coast guys might get it, but the East Coast guys don't.
No.
Who knows about Central?
Don't. Yeah, I have to take all these different times into account. Well, ask Lance, and he's Central. Anyway.
Do you have any followers out in, like, French Polynesia?
Not that I'm aware of. If you are out in French Polynesia, please do comment below and tell us
what time it is.
What time it is when you're watching this. Not that makes any difference to now. But anyway, thank you for watching. And everyone who's listening to us on the podcast, hello. Once again, we'll do interesting sound effects like we did last time with the doors. Excellent. That was a real door. If you're listening on the podcast.
Yeah, he's installed Star Trek doors at the studio.
I have.
It's good.
Star Trek door on the studio.
The cat keeps on wandering in there.
Yeah, the Patreon funding is amazing. And if you're watching on YouTube, please go check out the podcast. If you're on the podcast, please go check out YouTube. Anyway, that's enough of that. Without further ado.
Sorry, I left the door open.
That's another planet. Anyway, so first of all, let's do some sort of the fun admin-y kind of stuff that you do between missions. So, you can, as I said previously, move points around or change foci. I think Peter was talking about changing a foci.
I was last time. I was thinking of changing reverse engineering to temporal mechanics.
It's fine.
Oh, yes, we need to do introductions around the table.
Oh, that's a very good point.
Yes, go for it.
Right, I'm Adam, and I'm running Star Trek Adventures, and this particular version is Star Trek Morpheus.
I'm Sam, and I'm playing Dr. Kren, the ship's chief medical officer.
Hello, I'm Keith. I am playing Captain Sorrel Thavaiak of the USS Enterprise G.
Hi, I'm Dan, and I'm playing Zelvok, the Vulcan security officer.
And I'm Pete, and I am playing Lieutenant Commander Griot Tovon, Science Officer of the Enterprise. Cardassian Science Officer.
So, as I said, yes, admin stuff. So, yes, if you want to move a point around on your attributes or disciplines, maximum 12 or 5.
Okay, yeah.
Value should stay the same unless you want to challenge them, basically. Although I'm willing to hear arguments. A talent can be changed around if you want to do that, or focuses can be changed.
Are you happy with me taking one off security and putting it on engineering?
Sure.
You don't want me just to have systems.
Unfortunately, not really. It's a bit too wide for a focus.
There are a lot of systems.
There are a lot of systems. That's why I felt a bit wide.
They're all systems on the ship, aren't they?
The more I tighten my grip, the more systems will slip from my fingers.
Have you got pencil sharp?
No. Sorry.
Well, while you're
Oh, no,
considering,
isn't that one?
Keith, we should also do reputations, which is a system. I'm not quite sure it has much of a point, but we'll try it. So,
Reputation is a system. System's reputation.
it's more of a game system than a... You can take game systems.
That's what the captain's actually going to prepare.
I think they specialise in modifious role-playing.
But,
I was more thinking that's how he got his job. He used to work on the hollow stuff, so...
all of this is just a simulation.
Yeah. No, don't say that. The whole series is going to unravel, and it's just going to be a cat in a holodeck.
Well, the cat's the only real cat.
Yeah. That's awesome. That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
No.
Barclay coded a really impressive playground for his
God.
cat.
So I already had one game that was basically entirely a dream. I'm not doing it again.
Okay.
So, anyway, you have reputation with Starfleet. That's sort of how they look upon you. If you look favourable, if it drops low, you might have, like, you know, court martials or other disciplinary actions, like being locked in your quarters for a mission or something.
Paris.
Yes, or if you do really well, if your reputation goes very high, they might consider you for a promotion or just give you a medal or something along those sort of lines. It's just supposed to represent roughly how well Starfleet's looking at you.
Okay.
Like I said, systematically it's a bit vague on what it actually does, but yeah, whatever. So, they all start at 10 for everybody. And they go between basically 0 and 20.
So we've got Starfleet at 10.
Well, it says there should be a box of reputations
There's
somewhere.
reputation and milestones.
Yes. Yeah, though, as far as I know, there's only one reputation system. It's not like a multiple different things. It's just reputation. It's always with Starfleet.
Oh, okay.
There's not
So
like
we don't have like
Klingons.
Klingons.
No.
Okay, quite.
Does anyone have a better pen? Thank you. I don't know where you stole that from, Dan.
And then at the end of every mission, I go through a bunch of
That's my pencil.
a bunch of different things that you know, a little list that says if good things are good or bad. And then I add up the positive bits or the negative bits, and then we do a little roll to see if it goes up or down.
Cool. Just while you're looking up in the book, just like to say thank you to Keith for providing us all with Easter eggs, as it's pretty much Easter, and
I've already eaten all of mine.
we're enjoying some chocolate in the studio. So
You've eaten all of yours.
maybe a
as
little
well.
bit of rustling.
Dan and I have eaten all of ours.
I've only got half of my left, you know. So thank you, Keith.
Sorry, I'm letting the team down. I need to eat more of my egg. Adam's letting the whole team down. He hasn't even opened it.
I'll open it later.
He's the DM.
It does in the game. But yes, like positive things are like following the directives and commands of your superiors and things.
Okay.
That's like a positive, and you sort of add them all up. And I've gone through what I think on the last mission roughly would do it, as opposed to having to go through it all in
Okay.
detail with everybody. Can I find it?
You talk. I'll look.
Where do we mark this on the sheet?
Yeah.
On the back, on the reputation. I don't know why it says reputations actually, because
No, it just says reputation and
does it?
milestones.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Milestones is sort of
Experience
I'm
and
not really
promotion.
strong.
Spotlight milestones. Reputation. Here we go.
Maiden voyage?
you want this? Found it. Do you want me to
page
read
it?
it out? 295.
Oh, it's towards the back.
There you go. Positive.
Found it.
Oh, so you have like a positive or a negative, and if you
Yes. I'll do milestone bits in a minute, I think.
sure.
Notes on that. I'm doing that a bit differently from the general system, because the general system would have us never really coming up. So, as you can see, there are a few positives. Well, at least you can see there are a few positives and negatives. So,
Yes.
the positives, well, are acted in accordance with orders and directives, prevented combat, established an alliance with an enemy, directly contributed to saving lives, or taking unnecessary risks. Acted above and beyond the call of duty.
Yep.
And there are negatives such as challenge a directive, personnel under command were killed. You get 1 negative for each one of those.
Ooh.
So don't like lose a ship. Minus 300.
Your command.
Yeah, resorted to lethal force without cause, or
It wasn't lethal.
taking unnecessary risks in the course of a
He
mission.
resorted to non-lethal force.
I know.
Indeed.
And there was due
He didn't
course.
resort. He went straight to.
Phaser.
Yeah, sorry. He pulled the phaser on
I'm
there.
I was going to say.
Admittedly, it was probably a Kardashian phaser, therefore shit.
I do remember you saying, however, I'm a Vulcan. It's Star Trek. I've got to neck pinch him.
These are also true.
This is in Death Gripper, mate.
That's lower down. Okay.
So how does this work?
Well, basically, you roll a number of dice equal to the amount of positives, with a sort of basic the difficulty of the amount of negatives. And if you succeed, it goes up by a certain amount. If you fail, it goes down by a certain amount. Because I did go through the last mission, unless anyone can remember. I don't think anyone did any negatives.
I think so.
No, not
You were the
really.
closest.
Negative.
But I say it
Taking
wasn't lethal
did
force.
any of us take unnecessary
I
risks?
don't think
I
so.
think so.
Skirted it, maybe slightly. Just like when I accidentally managed to get the thing to blow up. Like, anyway.
Right. So I think let's start with Kren. I think that you definitely acted in accordance with orders and directives,
Yes.
and I think you also directly contributed to saving lives.
Probably yes, we did. We all did, didn't we? Yes, we saved lives. They did not all die.
Indeed.
So
I don't
how
think
do I
any of
do?
them died.
So how do I do
No,
this?
no one
then?
died.
No one died.
So you've got 2 so far.
I
Sorry.
thought that's exactly. I
Two
thought that
positives
away.
so far.
So I've got that 2 positives, so that's 2 dice.
Yeah.
Big dice, small dice,
20s.
G20s
and what am I wanting to get?
You want to get your reputation
So 10.
or lower.
or lower, but your rank also gives you a sort of a bonus. Where's it gone?
It's like a focus. So if you
Yeah, it's
roll,
like a focus.
so if you roll equal to or less than your rank level, then you get an additional
How
success.
do rank levels transmit numerically?
I've got them in my notes here.
I am a
Ensign.
lieutenant.
You're a lieutenant commander, so your privilege. So I'm just checking your privilege is 2.
2.
So if it's
So
2,
if I get 2 or 1s, I get extra
you get 2 successes instead of 1, like a focus.
Right, okay.
However, well, it doesn't really matter this one because you can't actually, because you need to get at least the amount of negatives you got in successes, which is very hard not to when you've got 0 negatives.
Oh, there's not like a minimum of 1 success.
Not that I remember.
Are you feeling privileged?
A little bit.
Well,
Trill joined Trill.
But it says increase it by 1 for each success scored above the number of negative influences.
indeed.
So if you roll 2 on your dice, 2 successes, and there's difficulty 0, you
Yeah.
gain 2 reputation.
Indeed, that's
there
the
we
point. But you can't. I can't be able to go into what happens if you roll lower than.
Yeah,
So I roll
because
some
it
dice.
can't happen. Yes,
I have rolled a 6 and a fancy Starfleet symbol.
that's a 1. So that's 3 successes.
3 successes.
So
Marvellous.
your reputation has gone up to 13.
Marvellous.
Ooh.
So, I think Captain Tavayak, I think again, I basically everyone I think acted in accordance with the orders and directives and also directly contributed to saving lives. However, I do think that you prevented combat by giving that little speech to the crowd that was getting a bit antsy, if you remember. So I think that's 3 positives and no negatives.
Oh.
And your privilege is 4.
Oh.
You're a captain.
What does that mean?
So if you roll a 4 or lower, it's 2 successes.
Indeed.
Oh.
And you want to hit
If you
10
want a 10 or lower.
with the rest.
So that's a 10, so that's 1.
Indeed.
That's a 6, that's 2, and that's a 2, so that's 2.
Yeah, so 4
Yes, sir.
overall.
All right, so I
So
got
now
14.
your reputation is now 14. Enjoy.
All right.
It says if you
doing
get to
well.
reputation 15 or higher, then you're considered for a promotion.
Bye now.
So
Okay, Admiral.
he was captain for a month and he got promoted.
Yeah.
He was good.
It's great. Yeah.
See you later, Commodore.
Just get a lot of,
Two missions and he was off.
Get a lot of people killed and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Sorry. Damn, I can't lose my command.
I've got to blow this ship up.
See that antimatter asteroid field? Let's go straight through.
Don't let them take you out of that chair.
Cheesy McCheese.
Engineering department. I need gaffer tape. Lots of it.
Well, we haven't covered if you have seatbelts.
That's what the gaffer tape is for.
I've got some over here somewhere. Here.
We do indeed have some. Duct
Actual
tape.
gaffer tape.
It's just for display purposes. Half the studios isn't held together by it at all.
Shh.
That's not.
It's all behind the camera. They can't see it. They can't. You,
Can't see what bit, there's nothing there.
yeah, hang on. We're okay.
So, I think Zelvok, I don't think he did anything other than the 2 positives that I think everyone did, unless you disagree.
No, I'm agreeable with that.
So, like I say, for a commander, your privilege is 3. So, if you 3 or less, you get 2 successes. Or
It prevented combat by engaging in combat.
Prevented dangerous combat.
A 9 and a 4.
well, unfortunately, that's just the 2 successes. So your reputation goes up by 2 to 12. And I think Tovon probably got the most because he. So I did write down the numbers, I thought, but I can't remember exactly why all of them. So the 2 that I think everyone got, saving lives and acting according to directives. I think you also established an alliance with an enemy.
Yep.
You made friends with a Kardashian woman.
Yep.
And
He may go-
Kardashians are our enemies.
My enemy as well.
He said enemy.
well, she was a bit of an
Personal
enemy.
enemy. She was causing the problem.
Right.
I think, to a certain extent, I think you acted above and beyond the call of duty by going
Beaming
next to
into the thing.
giant explosive and
Okay.
helping turn it off. Either that or directly contribute to saving lives for 2 lots because it can be more than 1 for that one.
Okay.
Either one. I think it's 4. So,
Okay.
and you're obviously Lieutenant Commander as well, so that's a privilege of 2.
2. Okay. So I got 3 successes.
So reputation goes up to 13. So, like I say, there's details a minute ago. It says what reputation means what way.
Interesting. I like it. Like a slightly different experience track
Sort of, yeah.
kind of thing. Sort of.
What does it say?
Don't
What
get blowing stuff up.
You realise that neither of you 2 can get promoted until he goes, right?
You can only have 1 commander.
I think so, yeah.
Oh.
Well, you can go to a different ship.
This isn't the Cardassian Navy. Okay? Everything's a little different.
The military. We didn't call it the Navy.
I can't remember, there was a table somewhere of what these different things mean, but I can't find it immediately.
It's fine. It probably
So
doesn't
I'm going
When
to
did you
mess
find
up
that with the
slightly and say
promotion?
captain. You're going to do really well and get promoted to captain in your own ship. Off you go. One of these 2 will get promoted to my first officer, and the other one will get promoted to commander and be shipped off to my ship as well.
I'm going to be your first officer.
Don't I get to choose my first officer if I'm captain?
Well, there are recommendations by Starfleet. It's a bit of a political thing.
He'll
there
get
a
to pick
list?
his first.
Surely there's a list somewhere.
It's a short list. It's got my name on it.
Different nicknames thereof. Yes, but no, basically, yes, the only real system repercussion things are that if you're 15 plus, you may be off the promotion. If it's 0 or less, I'm kind of forced to do something, like have a court martial or,
Join the Klingon Empire.
yeah, something like that. And yes, unfortunately, because you all kind of chose high ranks anyway. None of you can really go up in rank. So
Sure.
Well,
I don't think
supposed
we're.
to be the command staff of an
I'm getting the
Enterprise,
feeling that it's
so-
less about like numbers and advancements like that, and it's more about the exploration and the discovery and the.
It's more about the role play.
Yeah.
well, I think that it's mostly supposed to sort of try to keep it sort of Star Trekky, because
Yeah.
if you basically start going very non-Star Trekky, you'll find your reputation does drop quite significally. If it's all positive and you're doing well, it'll probably
I
just
mean,
go
just generally the game.
Oh, yeah,
is
the
less
game's
about like imagine you're Harry Kim. You never get promoted. You never advance. You are the same character through 7 seasons of Voyager.
Yeah, the way he was
You
never
just
promoted
play
to-
different instruments.
He wasn't even. He wasn't even promoted to like Lieutenant Junior grade. It
I
was,
know. That would have been
6
Yeah,
years.
sorry. We've got a load of them on the ship already. You never see them. And there's a whole bunch of them
Why are they never improved?
down in astrometrics.
trying to get home.
Yeah.
They're all just doing that all the time.
It could have even been a full promotion, so this isn't really. I can't say it's forever, but we're going to call you Lieutenant Junior grade for now.
commission. Yeah. We'll call you Harry Junior.
Exactly. Look at what was it, Red Squad, and their little excursion on their Defiant, and the fact they all basically promote themselves to crazy ranks. Harry Kim, those 7 years in the Delta Quadrant, nothing. Anyway, I experienced he was just really rubbish a lot of the time. He was on screen.
Yeah. All the other times are terrible. You got one more chance. Right, start the cameras.
Anyway, that's a little fun extra bit of the system, and I think, yes, we're ready to start there, unless someone else has anything else they want to ask.
Go for it.
Did anyone else change any numbers or focuses or anything? Did you pick a focus yet?
I did.
What was it?
Reverse engineering.
Cool.
You just passed over the car.
Carried on.
That's fine.
Right, okay, so have you got a log to do?
Yes.
Log away.
Captain's log. Stardate 71305.5. It's been 6 weeks since our mission to the Lacuna colony. Shakedown is complete. Our first mission is complete. We are currently en route to Bajor. We are going to collect the rest of our families and supplies before heading out into deep space to do whatever the Federation asks of us. Currently, our destination is Emissary's Testament, which is Starbase 459, formerly known as Deep Space Nine, at the entrance to the wormhole to the Gamma Quadrant. Our contact there is Starfleet Commander Ido. We will meet with them and get any further information we need.
Okay. So, yes, the mission is to go to, yes, not Deep Space Nine, Emissary's Testament, and to pick up people. Emissary's Testament looks a bit different to how Deep Space Nine looked. It's, I'm sure, we may all remember how Deep Space Nine looks. This is a sort of wheel type structure, big circular disc with sort of a big outer ring, a little inner ring, and then a big central bit with sort of prongs.
Pylons.
Yes, sticking up from the outside. Now, however, on the central bit, it's got sort of two towers built up. Not enough to like interfere with docking on the pylons, but sort of big up, and they look very Bajoran in nature. They look like sort of Bajoran architectured like buildings, except they're extensions to the station. And yes, the command centre is at the top of one of those towers. They've got like the big Bajoran symbol on the side and things. Because they were helped with
Bajored it up.
Yeah, the Bajor.
And Bajor are now part of the Federation.
Indeed, they are. But
And it's Starbase
459.
Starbase 459.
yes, like I say, they tend to call it Emissary's Testament because yes, again, the Bajorans wanted to name it something in the honour of Cisco.
So
And
Starbase
aliens.
459.
Yes, and they needed to expand. The reasons why they built on it is they needed to expand because there's like colonies beyond the wormhole, and there's a lot of traffic goes through. And they was meant to expand it, but then there was that whole war thing.
So why didn't they just build a new one?
I don't know. That's much harder, and like I say, there's a lot
That's
of
very
history.
lived as well.
Yeah, it would have to. They wouldn't just knock it down.
Half their
They could have built.
history.
They could have built a new one, but
Turn the entire thing into a museum.
It's a testament to the suffering that they went through at the hands of my people. I'll have said at some point.
on the way there. But yes, and the reason.
I like the towers.
And the reason you're heading there is because it's, if you remember, we talked about the long-range transporters. It was one of the hubs, if you remember,
Yes.
as we decided at the time. So it made sense because you were near there, sort of space-wise, to go and pick them up by just transporting all of the families and any remaining crew to Bajor.
Yep.
And you could just go pick them up there. It was deemed the easiest thing.
Yep.
So yeah,
That's on the planet.
the transporters.
the
Yeah,
long-range
But
transporters.
there's also beacons now, so you can transport directly from Emissary's Testament to the planet as well now. So.
Okay.
Again, if you can do it, because
Yeah, you
like
can do it from Beta Z to Bajor.
You can do it.
You can-
Deep Space Nine.
Yeah,
for the
exactly.
surface, yeah.
Remember, people, this is like 20 odd years later, isn't it? So
Yes. No,
it's
it's
been
6
some-
months. Progress was fast.
There's been some development.
Indeed. So yes, and a lot of the bottom half of the central prong that they've sort of added of this sort of sandstony Bajoran looking. It's actually made of sandstone. It
Sure.
looks.
Yeah.
I like it. It's a sandstone space station. Loses a lot of air
Yeah.
through porous rock.
It's cladding.
Yes.
Sandstone cladding. Marvellous.
So the new
It's a
operations
fireproof.
centre is at the top of the top tower, and a lot of the bottom tower is the temple of the emissary. So, and that's where the orb of the emissary is held and all that kind of thing. It's a significant part of that. Whereas most of the sort of central, the old ops is like part of the Dominion War Museum. So there's a big museum on the station.
It is a museum.
It is a museum.
Yeah.
Hold on, Orb of the Emissary? I don't remember that being a thing.
At the beginning of the 7th season,
Yeah.
he discovers his
Digs it up,
on that in the
Is that the
desert.
one on the
digs
base?
it up in the desert, and he finds it.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Oh,
a beach.
It's not a beach.
No, it's
It's
just
just
a
a desert.
Does it? It's with the other Dax.
Yes, when they introduce New Ezra and his dad's there.
And he has his Benny vision again
Yeah.
in the show.
Yeah.
It's
He's
because all,
writing on the walls.
all the other orbs have gone dark because of the power wraith.
Yeah.
And he lets this one out, which I think is probably his mother.
Yeah.
And she kind of goes... Sorry, there will be spoilers for Star Trek, unsurprisingly.
But the end of Deep Space Nine did finish some time ago. So
20 years ago, so...
In both senses.
It's
Oh!
like he did it on purpose.
I know.
Almost.
Was it? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, feeling old.
I know. Yeah, I know. And it's the best Star Trek show. Anyway, carry on.
But anyway, so, yes, no, because the path race had got into the wormhole and all the other orbs had gone dark. He let out his mother prophet, and she went and kicked him out. It's never really said what happens to the Order Emissary next, because you see him return to the station. You would have thought he would have brought it with him, though. I'm assuming he brought it with him.
Yeah.
Because it was still lit up when he closed it.
It's in his little bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know that little... It looked like it just had a towel in it.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, that round...
The box is this big, isn't it?
Always know where your towel is.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, so that's where the Emissary is held. It's like, yeah, unsurprisingly a big temple and whatnot, because, yeah. So, yes, you'll be pulling into the station, you'll be docking there.
On the way there,
Yes.
can I check with the system how many Cardassians are resident? Are there any Cardassians resident on Emissary's Testament?
I don't know.
Or trading or working? Basically, I want to find out if I'm going to be the only Cardassian walking around the space station.
Probably a tailor shop.
No, he probably
I'm
would have gone on.
pretty sure.
He would have gone on to do something in government.
Or dead.
I'm not going to huge detail on what people decide and canon characters decide because it just distracts. But I'm almost entirely sure he would not have stayed there when he didn't need to anymore. Actually, I really like tailoring after all these years. Couldn't bother doing anything else. Yeah, don't see it. So no, I don't think he's. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think there'll be a lot of move there?
I think there'll be a few who will be trying to, similar to myself, trying to sort of make amends in whatever small way they can. So they might be like working there and therefore living there, and maybe a couple of families have started to
There
live
would
there.
be a new generation on the Cardassian side, and also a new generation on the Bajoran side of people who have grown up after the war in a sort of X amount of years.
Would have
So
been
that sort of
also people that have grown up after the occupation.
yeah, exactly. So that
doesn't
divide
matter.
wouldn't be as far apart as it was. So
Not
I mean,
as far, but it would still
yeah,
be
it'd still be there. It'd still be part of their history.
Especially if the whole place is a museum and a sign of the occupation.
But there would also be a lot of Federation influence now.
Of course.
So...
Which is why I'm not worried about going there from a personal safety point of view. But I don't want to be like...
I don't think he would be the only
sore thumb.
Cardassian there.
No, I think there are a few, but I don't think there's a lot.
And of course,
I'm pretty certain there will still be a Cardassian tailor shop.
it's part of the museum. Like I said, the promenade and stuff is still
experience.
there. The museum takes up higher floors. I would think that there's also going to be, because there were a few people that were descended from both Bajorans and Cardassians during the war, those orphans and people.
Yep.
So I expect a few of those might be around.
Mhm.
Again, of different proportions now, because it's been a bit longer.
Yep.
That probably was at the time, actually, because, again, it was 100 years, wasn't it? Or however long, it was 60-something years,
50.
wasn't it? Yeah. Anyway, it was long enough for a couple of generations.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'd say there's probably a few.
Okay, cool.
I will agree with you.
Yeah. That's cool.
So, you like I say, you come into dock. A lot of your people are still gathering. Sighting on the planet and all that kind of thing. As you sort of come in, as can slowly be beamed in and come aboard with instructions and that kind of things. I think you'll probably be given a tour by Captain Edo of the station, who's about 40 years old Bajoran woman. Who's in command of the station. She'd offer you a tour anyway, and anyone that wants to go. Other than that, would people go and sightsee? Would there be anything they want to visit, or because you've got a little bit of short leave time?
I'd probably take the opportunity to go to Bajor and visit Bajor again and have a look around and kind of reminisce a little bit and maybe see what's happened with some of the places that I'd stayed at and what they've done with it now. And
Well, I assume, similar to places like that in the real world, a lot of them have been closed down and
yeah,
try
but
to
hopefully
forget.
there'll be like
There'll be a few will be museums, though. So
Yeah.
don't forget.
maybe they built a school there instead or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I would have thought some of them would be museums and things like this. You can still go to museums to have a concentration camps.
So were you actually on the main planet or one of the smaller
No, I
ones?
was on Bajor.
Okay, on main.
There you go.
What do you think, Torben? Official tour, or do you want to wander? Do you want any company?
Well, I'm interested in the temple, just from a cultural point of view, and obviously wormhole aliens point of view.
Well,
But
should we ask the captain if
if
he can tag
that's,
along with
I
the
assume
official?
that's part of the tour.
You are all invited.
No, well
Yeah.
then I'd be
We'll do
happy
that
to
then.
join.
So you're on Bajor.
Bye.
You're on Bajor. You're
What are the odds?
touring.
Oh, wait.
Bajor, as Picard called it in the first episode.
The Bajorans.
That's just
Yeah,
Patrick
God bless you,
over-
He's just
Yeah.
projecting.
Bajor!
Hopefully we'll see more of that.
So more of what?
Picard.
Patrick Stewart
Patrick Stewart
projecting.
projecting.
Words.
I'm suspicious of that. But anyway,
Anyway.
we'll see.
Yes.
Right, give me a spotting something roll.
What is spotting something?
Probably insight or reason normally, plus...
Did you choose her just because she's a trill?
Cause yes. No, because she's the...
Plus
Reason, I like reason. Reason is good.
reason. I like reason.
I do. Reason is a good score.
probably security?
Yes, I have that.
We've all got that.
Have we?
Have more than
You
one.
start off with one and everything.
Oh yes,
More than
yes. I have a character sheet.
Right, and I'm
somewhere.
just
Here it
trying
is.
to roll at or below my number I've got.
Yes, I'd say
Just
difficulty...
the one dice at this point.
1.
What? Why one dice?
No, 2 dice.
You always
Two
have
dice.
to.
Always roll
You always
two.
have to.
As I said, I will need reminding of
Yep.
the mechanic almost every session.
You roll dice.
You
need
roll
numbers.
dice. I need numbers.
Actually, I'm just gonna say
Those are good numbers.
2 numbers that are successes. And what do they have to be under for the... They have to be
Add
under
them
discipline,
together.
which they're not going to be, don't they?
Indeed. Oh, well, that's if your focus is if you have a
No.
relevant focus. If you don't have relevant focus, they have to be 1s to give 2
No.
successes.
Yes. So 2 successes then.
Good. Okay.
You spelled something on your character sheet.
Yes, I have.
It's not a character sheet if you
Have
haven't
I spelled
spilled something on it.
Yes, I have.
Although-
Hey, Dan,
although
this is
Adam's given us
interesting.
these nice defenders.
I spelled it. I should
And
point
for
out.
anyone listening on the podcast, Keith has just tipped his drink onto his character sheet deliberately.
I should
And
point
it's,
out.
I think it's
did-
lemonade, which is a poor choice for a steak,
Oh,
because it
yeah.
may not at all.
Yeah. I think the best one I've seen Dan do is his own blood.
Yes, that.
Oh, more than once.
So what? Yeah.
Anyway,
And nail varnish.
Yes. That's also good.
What?
at the same time.
Why?
I was painting my nails.
Oh, right.
Okay. Let's carry on with the names. Let's carry on with the
Dan
names.
started painting his character sheet. Anyway.
But this one is clean. Look, I'm just.
It is. I'm very.
You keep
impressed.
yours behind the
Anyway,
basket.
I have
Yeah.
2 successes. I needed 1 success. Yes.
You spot your ex-husband standing a little way off. What does your ex-husband look like?
Right. He's a trill male. He is probably similar age of my character, so probably in the early 40s. Again, Starfleet uniform, science background. If he's wearing his uniform, which I assume he is.
Probably, yeah.
Yes, he's not here in a civilian capacity.
Oh, I'd be worried if it wasn't.
Tallish, dark hair, probably.
Does he have the same weird coloured spots as you?
No. He's fair-skinned with the normal dark spots.
And just as you spot him, you see another presence right behind you that taps you on the shoulder and goes, "Hi, Mum!
Oh! Right, I should be very pleased.
Your daughter is also here. What does she look like?"
Right, she is, looks more probably like my character, so she's smaller, she's dark-skinned, and her trill spots are a slightly lighter colour against her skin. She's about 13 at this point. What are you doing here?
We thought we'd surprise you.
Well, you certainly surprised me. Well done. Excellent form.
Well, we heard you were coming here, so we thought we'd come and surprise you and see, I don't get to see you that often, and,
No, that's true. That is true. I'm very surprised to see you.
So we've got to transport to a nearby long-range transport hub, and we came here.
Oh, good. That's
thought-
excellent. Sir and fellow officers, this is my daughter,
Pleased to meet you.
Karen.
Pleased to meet you, Karen.
I will wave in a fairly friendly direction at the ex-husband as well.
Well, he's coming over now as well.
Yeah.
You can just tell your daughter was trying to sneak up on.
Yes. Well, yeah, you did a better job than he did, but that was often the case.
Do we
With
all
your-
know what her ex-husband does or is, or do we know anything about him?
He probably would have done. I probably mentioned him. He's an astrophysicist. They split up a few years back, but it's fairly amicable. He is based at a starbase where he has been studying the same pulsar for years. And this is partially the reason they split up, because she couldn't deal with it anymore.
Brilliant.
But the daughter tends
That's
to...
so good. That's so good. Yeah.
But the daughter has tended to stay with him recently. She was or have been on ships with me in the past, but she's been staying with him after I had an injury a while back. And because he's remarried, he's got 2 younger children, so she's got people to play with, and
Okay.
it's probably better for her than being on board ship. So in which case, if it's all right, I will excuse myself from the tour
course.
and go and buy someone some ice cream. I would have thought.
Mhm.
Excellent.
The captain, yes, also agrees. The other one.
Edo.
Right.
Sorry?
Did you say
Edo,
Edo.
yeah.
Right, I shall leave these two to their tour with the captain, and I shall go and see if there are still places on the promenade to buy ice cream.
That's IDO.
Yeah, I'm spelling it phonetically, so I don't.
Rather than EDO.
Yeah,
The loose rep.
I've done double EDO.
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 Right, where do you think they'd be going off to then?
Quarks.
I said, as he,
Kind of hoping we're at the tour.
I assume
away.
her half-brothers and his wife are not with them, it's just those two. In which case, I shall suggest we go somewhere and get some dinner.
Sure.
Probably. I'm sure there's still food places
Oh,
somewhere
yeah,
on the
yeah.
I
promenade
want one
and
of those
stuff.
corks mugs.
Oh yeah. They do really good gach on the promenade.
Yeah.
Sure, my character
I
feels
expect there
that.
probably could well be a Klingon in their restaurant, or there's the breakfast mat if you want some garlic.
Whatever she fancies. Whatever she fancies, as I don't get to see her much. So, I shall take her and the ex to buy
I
some ice
forgot
cream.
about the
or
Klingon
something.
Festival.
He's great.
Those Starball things, what were they? It's big. There was like an ice
Oh
cream
yeah,
thing.
they're like
Yeah.
rocket shaped
Yeah,
things.
like
I
an
can't
ice
remember
cream
what
thing. I suspect we're
Yeah.
going for ice cream.
Jumbo sticks.
Yes, jumbo sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's 13, I would have thought we're going
Good
for
man.
those.
Good man.
Oh,
Someone
okay,
around the
yeah,
table will get it.
Yeah.
There's enough collective knowledge in the room. If you haven't figured it out by now, we're all fairly big Star Trek nerds.
I remember the episode where Kira turns around and has a go at the Doctor, and he takes her to Quarks and sits her down with like holodeck programs and gambling tokens and jumbo.
Yeah.
And it says you will fully enjoy 2 of these items.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll be coming back to do it again tomorrow.
That's great.
Yes.
Yes, so I shall
Ice cream.
go and take the daughter and the ex for some food.
Right. Okay. You continue your tour. She's
Yep.
quite friendly. Yeah, she seems a good captain so far. You know, Bajor.
Yep.
Yeah. Seems fairly professional so far. She seems to know a lot of detail about the security measures of the station and that kind of thing. Maybe that was a focus before.
I ask her, as she's mentioned all the security, I ask her if it's been raised for any reason.
No. Well, no. We've not had any particular difficulties recently. No, we're fairly. There's not much activity. Obviously, we have a lot of trading, a lot of people coming through, but that's just fairly normal. But no, we've had no reason to raise any kind of security or anything at that sort of level. Was there Commander Zelvok on your vessel?
Yes, there was. He has gone to Bajor, I believe. Bajor?
Maybe the Endurance have their own pronunciation too.
Bajor.
Yes, because
On a side note, I kind of figured that because they know each other previously, that maybe they have an established relationship and they have like maybe a sort of yearly honorary ceremony kind of thing, and maybe it's coming up at that time, so they have a place that they normally meet on Bajor and have drinks, all that sort of thing, and maybe a couple of other prisoners might be there as well. So I was kind of figuring that might be where Zelvok's kind of beelining for.
Okay. But yes, I don't know if you remember me. You actually, helped liberate. I don't think you did it yourself. The internment camp I was in.
Yes.
26 years ago. 27 years ago.
I did. I recognised the name, and so I double-checked the Starfleet files. Yes.
Mm-hmm. It's been a long time, Captain.
It has. Glad to see you're doing well.
Well, I was quite young when we were liberated, so I wasn't in there that long. So it didn't thankfully.
As was I.
Yeah, no, it didn't last too long. Leave too much of a long-lasting impression on me. Yeah. So Zelvok didn't come aboard then, or?
No, he's opted to go straight to Bajor.
All right. Well, yes, that would make sense, I guess. It'd be more efficient that way.
Yes. Vulcan efficiency. It helps most of the time, but it hinders.
It served us on Lacuna Colony, didn't it?
Did it?
Well, he's stopped it. From the mission report, he managed to, neutralise someone quite quickly.
Yes.
Very efficient.
Straight to find the heart of the problem.
Good. Well,
it's my understanding you may be also departing for Bajor soon. Is that right?
Soon, but I thought I'd hang around, get you aboard, make sure your personnel were embarking without any trouble, don't have any difficulties. And, it'd be wrong for another captain to visit the station and me to give them a tour.
No, most kind. So are
outside protocol, huh?
Are our supplies ready?
Yep, no, they're all, should all be being loaded aboard. That should all be happening fine.
That's good. Do you know if all our crew members and families have arrived here yet, or are we still waiting on any?
They're not all aboard the station yet, but they're all in the system. But yeah, that shouldn't be too long before you get them all on board. And she continues the tour. There's still a security office on the promenade. There's still Quarks. There's still, there's various places.
Captain, if I may, do you have a head science officer or
yes?
Anyone? We've encountered some interesting phenomena recently in our travels, and I understand that you have. I understand that this is a location that often encounters interesting temporal and spatial anomalies and experiences, and I was wondering if there was anyone that I could maybe talk to while the resupply was arranged. Tobin's really bored by that kind of stuff.
Sure. Well, I'll tell you about take us up to Obs now, and then I can introduce you to them when we get up there. Okay.
Totally.
Where would you be heading after our ice cream?
I was going to say, if there is some form of ridiculous tourist thing, we're probably doing the ridiculous tourist thing, or alternatively doing whatever the space equivalent of playing like air hockey with the 14-year-old is.
Holodeck stuff, probably.
Yes, holodeck stuff. Or actually, if any of the museum stuff is remotely interesting, but I'm mostly just enjoying seeing her.
It's mostly about Dominion War. It's kind of interesting.
I'm unlikely to go into the deep details of what we came across in the Lacuna Colony with the X, just because he might relate it to a pulsar. But if I can...
Did they classify the last bit of the mission at all when we
yeah, that's the point.
Had this other space alien ship thing?
Starfleet Department of Temporal Investigations.
No, wasn't classified at all. Still.
No, I think you can own your reconnaissance. Yeah, it's not really enough detail to bother classifying, really. We saw the strange phenomena. We think it might be aliens, and enough, probably.
I'm not saying it was aliens, but it was aliens.
Second question: is there?
Are we sure it was aliens, or just could be human?
Could be ourselves.
We are aliens, technically.
This is the Enterprise. It's the flagship. It's the maiden voyage. Mm-hmm. Is there like a Federation news service correspondent on the ship? Is there is the press on board?
Yeah, like in Generations, where they're going
Yeah,
out
and they've got the
and they've got all the
cameras
cameras on their
and
heads and
yeah.
stuff, and they're in their face. Were there any people?
don't know.
Well, they just use remote cameras now,
Yeah, just drones following us around.
or just the ship sensors.
And then the remote cameras.
Yeah.
The board control the Federation too.
So I imagine that the press and stuff are allowed aboard for like the first bit, and probably considering you weren't allowed civilians aboard, like your families and stuff, I would have thought they wouldn't allow civilian news reporter people on board until like because you were doing like a shakedown thing. I would have thought they would allow you on. Maybe you could pick. Maybe you're picking some up now. That makes sense.
Yeah, they
With the families and other civilians,
Yeah,
because
that makes sense.
if you didn't have civilians before, I don't know why they don't.
They probably did it when we did our lap round Neptune.
Yeah.
But now they're probably coming on board.
Proper.
There'll be some there who have got their own podcasts and fleet tube channels.
Brilliant.
Not like Neelix.
I was going to say someone coming onto the bridge with a camera.
Yeah.
And I'm on the bridge, I shouldn't be here.
Just Zelvok's Hey, yeah, I'm live on.
Is this off?
Just see the Vulcan's frowning face going.
Anyway,
have
as
the
I
security
said,
clearance to be on this level.
I'm not going to go into the details of it with the X, but I would probably quite like to talk, just to sort of say about, has he heard any new theories about slightly odd, faster than light stuff, that kind of thing, because that's more likely to be his area than weird aliens.
Present company excluded.
Present company excluded.
Sorry, what did you say?
Well, he's a fellow troll, so you're a weird alien.
I was going to say.
He's not joined though, is he?
No, he's just a troll.
You're going to say we have a Vulcan who's not here.
He's
we have
not
a
joined.
Cardassian,
Go
we
away.
have a Bajoran captain here. I'm an Andorian. I mean,
I'm not saying
We don't need no humans.
You snuck through. Only
but
humans captain Starfleet vessels.
Yes, but yes, I will talk to him.
Oh
a
no,
bit
there's one
about,
Vulcan, isn't there? Yeah, sorry.
I will talk to him a bit about the faster than light stuff, so we can come across an odd.
Played by
phenomenon.
Martok.
oh, was
But
that
that's
was
not
that
all.
really? Ah,
Sorry, I'm distracted by what you were saying.
I would probably say to him just if he's heard anything particularly outlandish about faster than light stuff and that kind of thing. But no worries if he hadn't. And if he starts talking about pulsars, I'm going to discover a burning need to be somewhere else.
No, I don't think he's heard anything.
No, okay, that's fine. In which case, yes, whatever she wants to do. Museum if the museum looks fun. Or alternatively, not if not.
Sure.
Holodecks if not.
Yes, let's say the museum, because that's the idea. So you head into the museum, you're sort of going, just as you're sort of entering, like, what was the old ops, if like the actual series ops, from DS9, yeah, spotting something.
Is it
Sure,
reason and
the second
security
Vulcan.
again?
Sure.
crude vessel, but it was succumbed to.
Two successes.
It was either
Zombie plague.
something like that.
The Vulcan baseball team.
No, it wasn't. No, that was the Tucumbra. There was one in. Was it Next Gen? Just a Vulcan crude ship.
Anyway,
But there was the baseball one in there.
yeah, there was later on. Yeah.
Mhm.
Sorry, we're interrupting their bit.
You hear something like fall down behind one of the control panels, and it's kind of, it's not all roped off because, I mean, it's unsurprisingly, Ops is fairly durable and can take a lot of fingers poking it and people hitting it because, you know, it's
It's probably not plugged into the systems.
no,
anymore.
Is there anyone like the equivalent of gallery attendants type people standing around?
no, there's probably like a holographic thing, and there's probably a gallery attendant. Actually, no, in the main ops bit, no, there probably would be someone standing there, like a Bajoran.
Someone fell down the pit.
Excuse
Civilian.
me. No, did you hear something? There was a strange noise coming behind this control panel.
No, it should all be deactivated. I mean, well, the displays are still active, but
Well, it didn't-
they're just educational for
It didn't
different notes about what happened at the time.
sound electronic. It more sounded like something fell off.
Do you know that panel there was where the chief engineer used to sit?
Would Rolla have come through ops? Probably not. So, no, I did not know that.
When he wasn't around, when he wasn't moving around during the Dominion War, when he wasn't moving around fixing different parts of the ship.
Oh, good.
Station.
I'm going to wait for them to. I'm going to wait for them to wander off. I'll wait for them to wander off.
Sure.
Regardless of how X and Daughter start taking, see if I can see an easy way of seeing what's going on behind the panel.
Well, like I say, you can walk around all the panels. They're all like open.
But can I see like what I think fell? Or...
Yeah, no, if you go around there, you see what looks like a sort of panel, kind of looks like it's been detached, but it's kind of swinging on one attachment, one screw. The noise you heard was probably a screw falling.
Well, that's a bit odd. You'd have thought this thing would be better maintained.
Sorry, it's Cardassian
I'll
engineering.
start having a poke around because I'm nosy.
Okay. There is a... Yeah, let's just do this. There's a slight shimmer in a number of places around the museum. And suddenly there's like 4 Jem'Hadar? Jem'Hadar.
Jem'Hadar.
Yes. One of which is like holding a knife to your throat.
Okay.
A weird looking blade.
Damn it.
I should stay very still.
And yes,
Why are you
one's
on the
sort of
fucking planet?
next to your daughter, and
Well,
the
just go and get a
husband, the other one's
drink.
next to the gallery attendant. And they've sort of grabbed you all. What'd you do?
Are there other people on here as well?
No, the room was sort of empty at this point. So it wasn't a high, yes.
Right, well, no sudden moves is probably the main thing at this point.
Don't move.
No shit, Sherlock.
Don't worry, I'm not going to.
Pass me your Pass us your communicators.
That would be movie.
Going to say that.
Sorry.
Am I? I will gesticulate to the others to do the same and start unpicking mine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I say, your husband looks quite surprised, and just your daughter, and surprisingly, she's like, Mum,
Just do as I say. It will all be alright.
Oh.
you can't look sad. In the last game you were in, you kidnapped like 10 babies and had them all threatened with death.
There's one who ran, to be fair. Not
Okay.
with
When?
Hey, well,
What?
hang on.
Everyone
That went a
came.
weird
Oh, yeah,
direction.
yeah, yeah.
He did kidnap
That
basically.
wasn't in your personnel
Yeah,
file, Commander.
Yeah. Hang on,
Sorry,
hang on.
different
How is he
Different
second
game,
in command on the
different
ship?
game.
Different
Yeah.
game.
Eberron.
Different game, different.
Eberron.
And Dan was running it. Yes. he did.
Oh yeah, then it's going to be weird.
Anyway,
Yeah. You can't, look
is a
sad
bit
at me,
weird.
slightly threatening a teenager.
anyway, I will say though, do as they say. Do as they say, darling. Can I work out who's in charge?
Sure. It's probably the one that's, holding you at knife point at this point. They don't look entirely like normal Jem'Hadar. They look a little shorter. The horns are a little different. Their arms are a bit longer.
Oh, wait.
Are they holding anything that's anything weaponry or otherwise that is distinctive? There's no. They're not holding any breeding tech. There's not any.
Nope, nothing obviously other than. Well, you might recognise the uniforms and things. No, probably not. I don't think so. No. You could make me a sort of medical or science roll to try to determine whether it's probably more something you might know.
Medicine and reason then.
Yeah. No, probably. Yeah, sure. What about that?
I have genetics.
Yeah, that's probably count.
And xenobiology as both.
Probably both count, but only one now. So yeah, difficulty 3. It's kind of hard.
So I have a 1,
2 then.
2.
And I'm afraid not enough.
No.
No, you can't. They look unusual. They don't look like. I'll give you for free that they're not. They look like the ones in the Alpha Quadrant.
Right. Okay. Right. I will comply with what they're asking.
Okay.
That is the first rule of having been kidnapped.
Right. They close the doors to this ups. Like I say, there seems to be a couple looking after you, and then, like I say, one's going over to the panel. But we'll go over to back to the other people.
Mhm.
So you two are kind of going up in the normal like turbo lift like type thing, not just the weird.
This doesn't escape.
Sorry.
I mean, these ones don't escape. They're not proper.
I thought rather than the weird Kardashian lifts with the sort of.
I like
this one's
that.
got actual walls all the way around.
Okay. They just get in the way, though. You know, when that drops, you can all jump out.
Yes, they have replaced it with more, Starfleet-looking lifts, I'm afraid.
Less dangerous looking lips.
Pretend they've got rectangular docking doors next.
Oh, one thing I was going to ask you. Do you think you'll be...
What, when they go rather than clunk, clunk, clunk.
They've both now, sometimes. Anyway, were you armed at all?
Clunk, clunk.
If it is the policy of our security officer that we have our sidearms with us, then I will have my sidearm with me.
They'll take them off of you.
I suspect
They take it off. I like that. Have you got a gun? Yes, I
Right
have.
next
They
to a
take it off.
wormhole full of wormhole aliens and weird shit going on all the time.
If it
Yes, you're
is-
bloody well going on board armed.
If it is his policy that I have a phaser.
It's the bloody.
Starbase.
I
But
probably
he can
do.
ignore you if he wants.
Yeah, he's the captain. He's
I
allowed
probably
to.
do have my tricorder with
ignoring
me
you
as
anyway.
well, which I
I've
presume
got
they
my
would
type
also.
1.
Yeah, that's fine.
No,
They're not fussed about. Oh, they're my tricorder.
Star Trek, they're not,
Hide it
they're,
We're
not,
mostly.
okay, because there's guns everywhere for us.
they're not clever enough to take all of your useful equipment away from you.
Oh, good. I'll take my tricorder.
That would be sporting.
Oh, good.
Do resort to like Morse code, because everyone in Star Trek resorts to like a Morse code. Tap out something, a message to
I
us.
only know ancient Trill Morse code.
I don't know that. I only know ancient Cardassian Morse code.
Why didn't either of us study Morse code?
Fortunately, it was invented by that progenitor species, so every species knows Morse code.
Morse code.
Dear.
Anyway.
We're in the turbo lift.
Mm-hmm. So you can get up there. So I assume you're armed as well, because the security...
I've got a small Type 1 phaser.
you love your Type 1. Anyway,
It means it's more easily
Concealed.
it is.
Indeed.
But I assume, again, you're not random. You don't go around with it concealed.
Can you see it? No, it's just on. It's got like a little Velcro pouch thing. It's just there. It's clearly what it is.
Where do their pockets come from?
What?
Like they're wearing the normal uniform, and then all of a
I've
sudden they've got...
replicated a uniform with a small Velcro pouch.
No, but they're in a uniform. They walk through, like, going on a away mission. They beam down. They've got this little half pockets for the...
I can be
belts,
beamed down
aren't they?
into different clothes.
It's the future. We can all have rockets.
Oops.
Let's all have rockets.
Yeah.
Beam down. Your clothes beam down next to it.
I was going to say,
Not again. That bloody transporter chief.
The uniform
Got a real beef with
have
Cardassians.
self-replicating nanofibers in it that can change and morph to whatever you need
Oh,
them.
so you just pick up a phaser and you put
No,
it
no,
in the pocket.
no. Now we're crazy.
They've just got pockets.
I've got one of those old things called a belt out that's got a little pocket on it, and I've put that on.
How quaint.
Indeed.
this is obviously very important. Anyway,
Yeah.
um,
I have my scientific tricorders with me as well, just in case. I always carry that. My holographic one.
It's got the old-fashioned radar dish on.
Yeah.
So yes, you the lift doors open, and she's sort of talking to you, telling you about how the lifts are being installed, because the old ones they used to have were just these sort of walls. I'm sure Kardashians like that kind of thing, but they did have a couple of instances where people trying to reach out and just hitting force fields and scraping their hands.
People stick their hands out of turbolifts, then. Anyway.
Anyway, she's talking about something along those sort of lines as she sort of steps into this new ops, and like I say, it looks much more like a Bajoran kind of thing. It's got, again, all the grey sandstone. It's got a Bajoran symbol on one wall, and like the sort of Starfleet symbol on another wall, and it's all on, like, well, I don't know. Do you ever see, like, the ops of, like, an actual station other than DS9?
No, but there's an episode where there's the ground battles going on, and you see one of the military bases of the Bajorans.
Yeah,
It sounds a lot like that, and it's got, like, those... You know, like in
Drapes.
Empire Strikes Back, the kind of plastic, tactical wall things with lights in that look like they do something, but they don't really represent anything. They have a few of
They
those.
plot the movements for all the things.
Yeah.
Or you've got a couple of technicians sitting across, again, it's like a giant electronic elaborate battleship.
Yes, yeah, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it's all more on one level, maybe with a bit of a pit in the middle, but
A little bit.
Yeah, and there's probably a ready room for the commander.
And there's a big screen.
Yeah, oh yeah, there's
Always
You know,
a big...
there's always a big screen.
there's always a big screen.
Yeah. Is there a holographic communicator in the corner that's never used, gathering dust?
There's probably holographic display things.
Sure.
What I'm searching for a name here.
Projector?
Yes, that's the name. Yeah, probably most.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the holographic
Yeah.
personnel and stuff. Most places there's probably those now. So they could holographic communicate anywhere on the ops.
Cool.
So yeah, I'd say that it's probably like a quadrant, a sort of diamond-y kind of shape, probably. And there's probably a door off to a ready room, but otherwise the commander probably sits on a chair in the middle, because there's a little command centre down there at the lower level. And then sort of, different, a couple of consoles around the edge, and then like bits, lots of panels on the walls and things. Probably, a couple of
So if he
entrances
gets
for
bored
lifts.
and just wants to look around, he just kicks his feet and just spins.
Just trying to think how you'd organise an ops. if you have a Bajoran sort of style, but with mostly Federation principles.
Yeah. Is that clearly a sciencey area?
Well, no, as you walk out, as she sort of walks out, you probably you've got always watching type thing, haven't you?
I have constantly watching and student of war.
Okay, well, what does that say doing? I forget.
Constantly watching
It's not
actually
paranoia,
means
it's
I just get a
Which is
yes,
Cardassian
exactly.
impossible.
talents. Constantly watching.
You have probably got some of
When
your
I
talents in your
attempt,
thing.
oh yes, I have. Right, sorry.
I mean, to be
When
fair,
you attempt a
first
task
thing
to
you said-
detect danger or hidden enemies, reduce the difficulty by 1.
Okay.
Student of war. That's when I provide assistance to a combat task.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But yes, I get 1 less difficulty when, like, sensing danger.
Okay, so you notice everyone looks a bit sort of, well, strained to begin with, and like I say, you can't see a lot of people. There's less than you'd expect in most of these consoles in view, and like I say, they looked a bit sort of strained at the consoles.
Tense.
Yeah. As she walks out, and you're probably following her, she gets like sort of hand phaser pointed in her face, and there's a Jem'Hadar. And then like 2 more.
Boom! Whack the control panel to go down. Or shut the door. Can I do that?
Yeah, I think there should be some sort of roll.
Or are they all voice activated?
Yeah, but there'll be a button as well.
There are buttons.
There are buttons, aren't there?
Yeah,
it's
there's
just
definitely
once you
buttons.
punch
Yeah.
the button,
It's just
you've
if
got to
you
shoot
act
it with your
quick
phaser,
enough.
so they can't do it.
Maybe my constantly watching would help
we'll
me.
have a spotty roll then.
Okay.
So is Keith truly in or truly out of the door when you hit the button?
I don't
Because
care.
in the middle,
I might
Should we say
grab
that?
the captain and whack the button.
Well, we'll say
Well, that
difficulty 4 to react in time, because it's quite hard.
Okay.
They're quite quick.
And it's...
Well, you can try it as well. Reacting in time before
Okay.
the jump
And
dive
that's
at the
like-
face's end.
That's going to be like daring and security or something, isn't it?
It's more spotting them, so it's probably going
Okay.
to be more insight, I would say, would be the
Yep.
obvious one.
And security.
Yeah, probably.
The one that I'd like lowered.
Well,
But I get 1 less difficulty.
indeed, so it's difficulty 3 for you.
3.
That's probably insight and, yeah, security for you as well, I would say.
That's how it's security for me.
Yes.
Combat tactics. If we're being ambushed.
Yeah, it's probably a relevant focus. Have you got a relevant focus, Peter? Or has Tobin got a...
I was going to see what composure did. But it's not in my...
What is it?
Ooh. I have Dauntless.
It's just a focus.
Well, then it's composure, so I don't think that's probably relevant.
No worries.
I have Dauntless. A bonus D20 to resist threat or being intimidated.
Not really.
Not this time.
You're not really resisting threat.
Run away!
Exactly.
So.
Oh. No, I don't have a focus. 2 successes.
Damn. 1, I think.
Right, then I'm afraid not. They are too quick. They are, yes. You go to press it, and they're like, one of them phases the companions. You go to press it, and it sparks and explodes before you can touch it.
That's in the restaurant.
Oh, yeah. Later.
and Dan's character is
had-
like, an hour. I leave them for 1 hour.
I was going to go to a farm,
Don't try that
meet
again.
some old friends, acquaintances, maybe meet Ido later on, we'll have a drink.
Have some Plomac soup.
Yeah. Sit down together with the ex-prisoners, maybe, reminisce on old times.
No, we all got kidnapped. Sorry.
So, you're
It's not my fault.
you're sort of,
I'm
you've just
sorry.
transported down to this
Sorry.
farm.
This is now...
They've opened the door. They're just like, hi, and you go, Commander.
You realise this is your Die Hard episode, though.
What does Zelvok here?
Sir, the station has just raised, the Emissary's testament has just raised its shields, and has locked all access and is not responding to communications.
Transport me to the bridge of the Enterprise.
Well, we're docked, sir, so we're in...
You're inside the force field.
we can break through because we're on one of the pylons, but yeah, we can't communicate to them, and I'm not sure if anyone else would be able to communicate out. It's just we're fortunate we've got quite a powerful signal.
I say, just think we're in Die Hard. It'd be great. Would you like like any tea, Dan?
No,
While you're
I'm
in
So
bed?
what? He
Fine,
takes
thank you.
his Starfleet uniform jacket off, and he's just got this vest.
And so slightly overweight, balding middle-aged man.
What?
You're saying something weird.
Your computer might be at risk. Looks like some sort of dodgy advert.
It does. Yeah.
The Jemadar.
Appropriate.
Got a red alert.
As long as it's still recording.
Right. Would I just try to break through, or
First of all, let me have a word with the planetary command.
right, sir?
Okay?
I'll try to get through to them.
No, I will, because I'm here on the planet.
Yes, sir.
Right, so that's what
What he's good at, you know. And it's like, have you been in touch with the captain? No. Well, let's go speak to planetary command. It's fine.
I think he's assuming you've been kidnapped.
No, I'm assuming the Enterprise said that they can reach
Yeah,
him, so
yeah.
I'm not going to be able to
Did
reach
they?
him from
Yeah,
here.
I
the
missed
Enterprise
that
said
bit.
they can reach us.
Oh, fine.
No, they can't. They can't communicate. There's no responsive. They can't communicate with anyone. They can communicate
Yeah.
with the planet, but they can't communicate into the station.
Yeah.
Because there's probably
So
multiple. layers of
I
shielding.
will calm, like,
I suspect they probably.
is
have
there a
another shield.
Starfleet base on Bajor?
Yeah, it's probably a secondary kind of. There's probably a few, but they're only sort of
so...
smaller bases for other things.
Was
But
it
yes,
like
the main command
another
is
equivalent-
on the station.
Is there another equivalent of Bajor, like, Bajor militia here, or if it is even still the militia, or if they're now all integrated into Starfleet security?
I was thinking about this and talking to Sam. I couldn't decide because the majority seemed the type to me that they would keep like a militia because you know with all the problems they had in the past. But I suspect they're probably like a calling up kind like that. You know, there's a lot of people that have like phasers under the bed and stuff. You know,
Yeah.
it's like a public people's militia, so that if you know, in case Starfleet ever
Like
Minutemen
Switzerland.
kind of
They've
thing.
all got a phaser in a locker.
And
somewhere in
they're
the
all
house.
trained to use it.
yeah,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So I imagine the militia's probably much more of a people's like you know the idea
Yeah.
of like the Fourth Amendment or whatever in America, that kind of idea that if the government ever goes against you, you have the ability to resist. And they probably, as part of the terms of the treaty, I can imagine the Bajorans, given that they've been burnt a little,
Yeah. Yeah.
they would.
Federation were like, yeah, fair enough.
We don't mind if you want to rise up against us if you think we're doing something wrong. Because we'll never do something wrong.
The Federation.
For the Federation.
Unless we have weird aliens on next, we'll be fine.
Yeah. Don't talk about that.
Unless it's a changeling or weird three people on next, it's fine.
All worms.
Or just a megalomaniac right-wing Starfleet admiral. But anyway.
Yeah, it's never gone wrong. Never gone wrong. So I will communicate with them and see if they're able to.
But so yeah, probably there's probably it's like a couple of Starfleet bases that are run by lieutenants or that kind of thing on the actual planet.
I can't be the highest ranking Starfleet officer on the planet.
You're in charge.
Yeah?
Well, there aren't that many.
Fantastic.
Like I said, there aren't that many lieutenant commanders, or
Yeah.
captains. Otherwise, why would the second command? Well, sorry, yeah, like most of the people on the Enterprise have been basically lieutenants,
Fantastic, right.
including like the head of security and stuff.
Might be a commander.
Oh, well, I'll have a conversation with
Well, yeah, there is a commander.
these-
He came aboard. The other commander went, "Oh, only one allowed."
He just got beamed down. He went, oh, not again.
One commander per planet. Got to keep the rule.
I'll have a conversation with the like Starfleet sub-post outpost thing equivalent to see if they're able to get through to
They would be.
Starbase 459.
Nope.
Is there any sensor data or any outgoing information that may give us an indication as to what is occurring?
No, sir. They've just cut off communication. We've lost. Yeah, we can talk to obviously beyond the system, but no, they're jamming.
Starbase 459 is actively jamming.
Yes.
Right.
And they've raised different levels of shield so they can't. Yeah, ships can't get in or out. It looks like the weapon systems might be charging.
I love that. Looks like the
Are there
weapons
any
might
other
be
Starfleet starships docked at Starbase 459? Or is it just the Enterprise?
No, I'd say probably not at the moment. There's probably a lot of other civilian kind of ships.
The Enterprise.
Terok Nor.
The Enterprise is at red alert, so its shields are already up.
Mm-hmm.
They would have done that at yellow alert.
Yeah.
You don't have to go one to get the other.
What about blue alert?
Are you sure, sir? That does mean changing the bottle. Every week we'll do that joke.
What was planetary landing, isn't it?
What?
Is
That's Red Dwarf.
No, blue alert is. Was that set condition blue for planetary landing?
Yeah. And Discovery has black alert.
For what again?
Temporal stuff, I think.
No, when they're about to do their weird thing.
Oh, yeah, when they go...
Except
When they're about to go into the
mycelial network.
Wasn't that like
go to black
the
alert.
one time in the first episode?
No, they
the
do
rest
it.
of the time they don't bother.
No, they do it every time.
Do it?
Is there...
It's their red alert.
yeah.
Anyway,
They not have red alert.
they do.
All right.
But for combat situations.
They have an extra bulb. It's a black one.
A black light.
Or they just...
UV.
They just...
Suddenly UV. And it's like a disco.
It's like a Jackson Pollock thing.
Yeah.
Wow, what's teacher really want?
It's an actual disco on the bridge of the disco.
Anyway.
Okay. Anyway. Oh,
Does the...
making notes.
What is the...
Do you want us to transport you here, sir?
Hold on, I already asked them if they could do that. And
Did you?
You
Yeah.
said no.
He said, I'll beam to the bridge
No,
of
this
the
is the
Enterprise.
lieutenant from like the planetary base.
Ah.
Oh, yes, yes.
I imagine he's at the super long range transporter bay, and there's like a football sized transporter bay,
Exactly.
and they just beam in Zelvok in the middle of it. It's just like
In the middle.
hello, hello, yes, come on.
Okay.
No, like most transporters, yes, I do assume they've not just got one big one. They split them up.
Yeah.
And because it goes somewhere, it doesn't have to be really big.
I know.
Right, looks like we need to undertake a full tactical analysis on what is going on, see if we can get past that jamming so we can get further information.
Sure.
I will also command the Enterprise to be doing the same.
Sure. So we'll flick back to
Yes.
you. Did anyone want to play her husband or daughter? Making a sporting character. Don't have to.
I'll be the husband if you want.
Well, yeah, I just...
The
it
ex-husband.
depends how long... Yes, we're all, assuming we're not all about to get sent to the same place, so that'd be fair pointless.
No, I don't. Well, I don't know, but probably not.
Okay.
I'm assuming he's whimpering slightly because he's in
He's
nerdy
a
astrophysicist.
Starfleet officer, though.
And
Oh, okay, yeah.
He went
sure.
to the academy and
So,
stuff.
yeah.
But he's
He's trading.
What's his rank?
he's a lieutenant. And yes, he's an astrophysicist.
Who's obsessed with pulsars.
Yes.
No.
No.
A pulsar.
That
A
pulsar.
pulsar. Yeah.
That one pulsar.
So,
I like the rotations.
so you were being husband, yes?
Yes.
Pulses.
So you can fill out the numbers above, tell you how many you can have of each to begin with. And
Okay.
then we'll add species stuff at the end.
Karen.
Yep. He's a... Yeah. He's Trill. Yes.
I thought Karen was a girl.
Oh, no, Karen's the girl.
Oh, sorry, I've written it
husband,
wrong. Sorry, Peter.
Zia?
Zia, I had been told.
Zia?
We were Zia, yeah. I'm spelling it
How am I spelling that?
Z-I-A-H, but...
Z-I-A-H. Zia. Okay, cool. Well, reason. I think presence will be low. Sorry.
So the Jem'Hadar, again, they're looking a bit strange, they're looking a bit angry with you.
Okay.
Well, they're just looking angry. So, like I say, a couple of them are guarding you. One's got a phaser now. They didn't have knives before.
Well, good for him.
I suspect your husband didn't come aboard armed.
No. It's been quite
He's
a
used
long
to happy
while.
station life
Yeah,
of
been
not
quite a
wandering
long
around with
time
a
since
phaser.
basic command training, yes.
I've got a pad with some pulsar reading data on
Possibly
it.
does. And whether he's got a tricorder depends if there's any interesting pulsars in
ball
this
them
area.
So no one wants to play the daughter now?
Dan, do it.
No.
Right, okay. I'm a psychiatrist. I'm going to go into my best de-escalation mode,
Sure.
basically.
So-
keep calm, comply with everything they're suggesting.
Shoot them.
I think the security will be coming soon, won't they?
Quite possibly.
They're not coming. We blocked this area off. So there's a couple of them guarding you. One seems to be just wandering around poking at things, and like another one's playing, like I say, with this panel. But they've taken it back off, and yeah, you can't see because they've removed you round a bit. But they're doing things, and there's occasional noises, and there's light coming out there, and they're doing something underneath it.
Okay.
Right, hold on.
What are you hoping to achieve?
Why would I tell you then?
Well, you've taken us for a reason. I presume that's to hope we can provide you with some form of help.
You are Lieutenant Commander
Kren.
Kren.
Dr. Kren.
Yes. Of the Enterprise.
Currently, yes.
Yes, that's what we expected, although your position in your appearance here in the museum with a child and another science officer is less expected. What are we doing here?
We were visiting the museum. This is my child and her father.
Yes, this is just a museum. There's nothing here really of interest for you anymore. This isn't the ops centre anymore.
The daughter's still looking a bit scared and unhappy.
It's all right. It's all right. It's okay.
Like I said, the docent is the historical person, the curator, whatever they are. They're just hands up, not saying anything.
Good plan.
Yeah.
Good man. You keep doing that.
They've been told by their supervisor never to let their personal safety come between, to get in the way of...
Just say it. All right.
Little if you know of your station.
Strictly speaking, not my station. But we know a little of this. As I say, we might be able to help.
Why would you help me?
Because you've got weapons and we haven't. So generally speaking, cooperating with people with the weapons is a sensible tactic. Maybe I can help. I know a little bit of Cardassian engineering. I'm a Trill. I've got some previous experience.
Give me some sort of persuasion, you kind of.
Presents?
Yeah.
What, Gemini doesn't like presents?
Command?
Yeah, it seems like that kind of thing.
I've got empathy and psychiatry as foci. Can I blag any of them?
Yeah,
and that counts if I get...
your discipline or less.
Discipline or less. Seems unlikely. So presence and command. So one success, unfortunately.
Probably not enough.
Okay.
Nah, I'll roll for you.
Could I assist?
He did really well.
Probably not.
Well, he didn't do super well, but yeah.
But he's got a focus in Jem'Hadar battle tanks. He's read lots of the stories. He's read.
How would you assist? Trying to.
Like agreeing noises, nodding, that kind of thing. No, I'm not. He can't really assist in that situation.
Okay.
No.
I just, as I said, want to guarantee the safety of my child. That's the only important thing.
Our child.
Yeah, because that's what you want. A domestic right in the middle of a fucking hostage situation.
Because, useful to use singular personal statements in crisis de-escalation, but apparently you know more about that than I do. That's fine, it's not a problem.
Not now.
It's okay, I'm not going to.
That's fucking amazing.
Right, what? Joking aside, can I try and work out what they're doing? Can I blag this from my joined ability that every now and again I can pick up something from a previous host, and we know Rollup was involved in the regeneration and rebuilding of Cardassia?
Sure. I think it gives you a focus, doesn't it?
Yeah, it effectively gives me a focus.
Also, Zaya does have computers focus, which I don't think is a
completely irrelevant.
a
point
wild stab in the dark.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you could have like Cardassian technology as your focus for this mission.
Yes, I would like to.
I think you get it once per mission, don't you?
Yep, once per mission.
So,
I can blag that Rolat knew about Cardassian tech.
Yeah. Okay. So sure. I mean, you've not got a great view. We'll say difficulty 2 to work out what they're trying to do, and you can help.
Cool.
Reason and science.
Are we standing next to each other then?
Yeah, they've kind of pushed you over to one corner,
okay,
not
right,
next to the door, kind of.
So I get one.
You're probably over by like the commander's office, but the door's been kind of locked. Because you'll see, there's probably the baseball still. It's probably the real baseball, but it's probably the real.
Yeah.
No, it's like those bits when you go on like the Harry Potter studio tour. You can see into Dumbledore's office, but you can't walk in. It's like that. It's like You can see into Sisko's office, but you're not allowed in Sisko's. So we're rolling on engineering and reason.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Because it's not really sciencey what they're doing.
Yeah.
One success.
One success.
Oh, well, you've got to focus, isn't that?
Oh, good point. And focus, yes. Yeah, that is.
So 3. Okay.
Did you roll that one?
No, that was the other 2, unfortunately.
No such luck, yeah.
So you got
3.
3, indeed. So that's one more. It looks like they're basically adding a sort of what would be the best way of putting it? It looks like they're basically look like they're adding a sort of some sort of chargy technology Jem'Hadari thing that you don't recognise as much. They might be, you could use your question since you have a momentum on it, and they're sort of attaching it to like a main power line that still seems to run through here. There doesn't seem to be any control systems running through
What
it, but
do
there
you
is like a
think it's
power
gonna do?
conduit, a major power conduit.
What do I think it's going to do?
It looks like it's some sort of
Overload?
yeah. It looks like it will basically do a big feedback overloading thing down to
Through the
to sort of
EPS conduits.
down to the generator.
Which could blow the station.
Probably not just this one, but you know, a number of them.
Could
Yeah, I assume you're whispering.
Cause a bit of
because
an
you're helping.
explosion. How big an explosion would we be talking? Like,
Well, this one by itself,
yeah.
it probably wouldn't do anything by itself because it would just kind of overload this kind of.
Unless
Well,
people
it
were
would explode
doing
that
this-
console.
Unless people are doing this in lots of different areas across the station.
Yeah,
Which
it would
they
explode
might do.
this console, but it wouldn't. Yeah,
But something might happen.
but yeah, it would cause like a big overload to feed down to the main generator.
Okay.
But just one, the generator would probably recover from it. The sheet systems would blow, but it wouldn't.
Yeah,
There's lots of redundancies and stuff.
absolutely. Triple redundancy.
Yeah.
Right. Let's get her out.
Why are they doing feedback into the power generators?
They're going to try and blow the place up, didn't they?
There's only 4 of them with the little power thing.
No one's come knocking on the doors. There's not only 4 of them.
That's a good point.
Stop talking. Right, and then we'll switch back to the bridge. Well, ops. So, if anyone else can play her at any point. Right, so, yes, you've all taken on board, and yes, the strange looks that Toban was seeing before, it was because they had, like, phasers.
Yeah, out of shot.
Yeah. But they've all got, like Jem'Hadari-looking blades, but they've,
Got no guns.
all the phasers, look like they're Starfleet issue. So they're probably taken off the crew, basically.
And what are they? Do they have any technological equipment of their own design, or are they just wearing their uniforms and blades, and then everything else they've got is something else?
No, they're just basically wearing uniforms and blades.
But they don't have scanners, no headset on the first or anything like that.
No, and no tubes for weight either.
No tubes.
Oh.
And Captain Edo's like, what's going on here? And there's, as you sort of come into this ops, like I say, with all these things, all these people kind of being, well, like I say, most of them are kind of actually being held off to like one corner, that kind of thing, with like a couple of people with these phasers being pointed at them. There seem to be Jem'Hadar at these consoles doing things. And from glances, you can tell they seem to have raised lots of shields, they seem to be jamming on communications, all the things that you guys heard was happening already.
Yeah.
But in the centre, sort of in the commander's chair, there's an unusual looking Jem'Hadar. It looks, how to describe it easily. So he looks like an old Gamma Jem'Hadar, except he looks kind of strangely kind of weird in different places. Like he's got like a bit of loose skin hanging down here. Looks kind of like it's kind of hanging off in a bit of a weird way. And like these horns here are all kind of a slightly different colour. They're all like an orangey, a deep sort of orangey colour as opposed to sort of the yellowy grey that they normally are. And he just looks a bit strange, and like one arm looks maybe a bit longer than the other. He just looks a bit odd.
Ever so slightly mutated.
Yeah.
Okay.
All pieced together.
Maybe.
And he has a quality called Menace.
Oh. Oh. For listeners, what did you just do?
I did 2 threats to the pool because he's
And we're now on how much threat?
10.
10.
He's an important NPC. So he has a quality called Menace, which adds to the threat pool when he appears. He's a kid.
We can tell.
Well, technically, he was already here. We haven't been.
And I've got a quality called non-menacing.
It's really, really super friendly.
Yeah.
Calming
Hi.
everyone down.
Hi. Yeah.
Oh, I really feel not threatened at all.
It's fine, I've got reverse engineering. Whatever they do, I can just undo it.
Absolutely. And I've got temporal mechanics. I can do the same.
Fine, we'll just shoot it.
And he sort of stands up and he's kind of looking a bit sort of, I don't know, he looks like agile and movementy, but again, just like slightly...
Asymmetrical.
Yeah, exactly. That's the kind of thing you pick up.
Okay.
And he says, Captain and Captain. And Lieutenant Commander Tovan. Welcome aboard. You were later than I expected.
Well, you know how it is with traffic control around here. It's a very busy station. And who might you be?
I'm called Primus. I used to be called something else.
Oh.
Right, so you probably all heard, like I say, Dan's got this briefing.
I have got the briefing. I'm looking at it now.
But you probably all heard that there's a weird small faction of Jem'Hadar in the Gamma Quadrant that are all into weird genetic engineering stuff. They're not very big, but they're kind of famous for doing stuff that Starfleet doesn't tend to like, which is all the sort of genetic enhancement engineering, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And they seem to be, they're called the Primes, or the Inheritors of the Founders, and they are led by this one Jem'Hadar that's lived for ages, like 25 years or longer, called Primus. The self-titled Primus.
Sure.
Yes. I'm glad to see you got here safely. I wanted to talk to you, Captain.
You could have just asked. I'm sure you have our consequences.
I needed a bit of a leverage, I think, because I don't think you would be quite... Well, perhaps you would have agreed to my terms, but even now, my people, my inheritors, on various points around the station. Obviously, we've taken control of your operations centre here, and we have the ability to destroy this station.
For what purpose?
Well, I think it's something the Founders would have done. But mainly, I wanted to talk to you. You have my ship.
Your ship?
Yes, it's an appropriate ship. It should be ours by right. We are the inheritors of the Founders. You have a ship that changes shape. That sounds like a Founder ship to me. And we are the true inheritors of the Founders, so it's my ship.
Oh, wow. Good luck with that.
I'm going to step slightly to the left.
Yeah, you're dealing with the crazy one.
Where's your psychiatrist / doctor
Like,
when you need her?
you employ a shrink, but apparently I'm somewhere else. So
Yes.
Another thing you will notice, there is a science officer, and there's also
I don't
a
have
security officer and engineer. The senior crew.
I don't actually have a value or a focus or a talent that is, no, screw you, I'm the captain of the Enterprise.
The one thing you will have noticed is that the security, the head of, the lieutenant in a security uniform, with a little, because we've got symbols in the badges now, is a Vorta.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, this wasn't your briefing, so.
Yes, it was in my briefing. Lieutenant Jayang.
Anyway.
Remember.
Do I notice this?
Yeah, I'm just...
Yeah,
You know,
the security head
Why are you looking
of-
around going... Is he... No?
Hey, someone even more suspicious than me. Hey, I'm just going to chill out now. I'm not the most dodgy-looking fucker in the room.
I give him a bit of a look.
You want to get in on this,
Little
baby?
her. She's a her.
I beg.
But yes.
From what's in my briefing, I think she's a her.
I'm sorry to point something out, but there's not physical matter, and the ship does not actually change shape. It projects a holographic image, and is therefore not the same as your Founders.
But what are we but the image that we project? I mean, deep down, we all have motivations, hidden depths, secrets. Even us Jem'Hadar, over many years, when we fought in wars, every Jem'Hadar had an individual personality, thoughts, and we all died for the greater good, but we all projected the image of a unified army that only ever served. What are we beyond that?
A redundant tool that's no longer required.
Easy, Commander.
Someone's going to get
I
shot.
step back.
So,
And if you were to have the Enterprise, which is highly unlikely, what would you do with her?
I take it back. It would help me. Already we're gaining numbers, people. New forces of the Jem'Hadar, the inheritors. There's more than ever. I will unite all the Jem'Hadar, and we will work to following the path the Founders left for us. And once we've achieved that, then, well,
And where does this path lead?
only the Founders know. We will walk it and find out. And your ship will help. A wonderful flagship for my fleet. A ship that reflects the Founders.
How do you know what the Founders are doing?
Well, we don't know what they're doing. They've left a path for us to follow, but they're out of sight. They've left us behind, but we can only follow.
They're not gone.
What?
They are in the Gamma Quadrant.
What? Where?
No, our character, we know that they've left.
Oh, they've disappeared.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
sorry. Sorry.
Oh, I wasn't sure if you were
I
going
forgot
somewhere
about
more
that.
metaphorical.
No.
Yeah, no, they all
I forgot
disappeared.
about that. Okay, yeah, they've all disappeared. Yeah. Sorry, my bad.
Quick, find another metaphor.
But some of us know, I'm going to say loudly across the room. Someone might know what they're really up to. I will stare across the room at the Vorta across the room.
Does anyone want to play J-N?
Yeah, I will.
Do you want my little briefing?
Possibly.
Oh, I think it was about like that.
I'll slide it down to the too long didn't read.
Right. Adam or Keith or someone with long arms and knees going to get
There you go.
Too long didn't read.
Yep, like I said before.
Okay.
Basically, I read the science report that a Vulcan Institute member wrote about it.
So, Angie is one of the ones that obviously had, in your briefing, the things removed.
Yes.
So, as I said before, there's the attributes, disciplines, and foci. The numbers you have of those above them.
Oh, can she do the whole psychic bolt thing?
Again, I never like to prove it, but I like to think that was just some sort of weird hologram or effect they did just to confuse the hell out of the
With
Federation.
review of her Starfleet career, what's her sort of specialty? Is she
She's
assigned?
security, obviously, head of security on the station.
Right, marvellous.
She's quite ambitious, but yes, other than that, I don't really want to.
She's a Vorta.
Right, sorry, I forgot to do this. We need to add the species numbers to the children.
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry.
That's all right.
I can do that.
Species 612. Dark alien.
Are they the twinned ones? Tarkalians. Are they the ones that are twins? Am I thinking of... No.
No, they're binars.
No. No, the one... There's... Anyway, never mind. Don't worry about it. Tangent.
Species 351 something. Which
The
is
time travelling one.
There's a... Yeah, anyway.
twins.
Okay.
Right, so in any case, I'll give you some time to relax if you'd like to take I haven't got any chairs, but a seat on the floor or standing up over there, and refreshments will be served shortly.
May I just ask where Lieutenant... Are you Lieutenant Commander or Lieutenant?
Lieutenant.
The Vorta, Lieutenant.
No, you.
Oh,
Oh,
Kren.
Kren's Lieutenant Commander.
Lieutenant Commander Kren is. Is she okay?
So, again, briefly going back to the other thing, the Jem'Hadar goes, yes, no, I Primus, I have Lieutenant Kren down here. No, she's safe. She's got one of those children, and I believe some sort of mate.
Ex-mate.
You call him.
Well, they're safe currently, but I can kill them now if you'd like.
Oi, mate. Who you calling, mate?
No? And he pauses for a second as if he's having sort of conversation in his head. And then responds, they're safe for now. They met one of my other teams aboard the station. One of my other little units.
How many of them are? How many of you are there?
Well, I've not taken count recently. But there's probably millions.
I mean on this station.
Oh, well, that's easy to answer.
Good.
Well, I believe, I haven't had any reports of... Oh, no, yes. 192.
A lot of Gemini.
There's probably
Get
like 30 in this room. It's quite crowded. There's lots of them. Most of them got blades, and most of them are pressing panels and doing things, but it's an op-center, so it's quite big.
On the space station.
If only we just had one Vulcan.
One
I think my Vulcan would be hard pressed to take on 30.
cartwheeling, somersaulting, ninja-fying Vulcan.
Get him one of those cotton buds with a little scythe on the end.
Exactly.
You'll be fine.
You'd be away.
Did you want to play Captain Edo, Dan?
Yes.
He'll only play NPCs of a certain rank or higher.
Because she's captain.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
it's like you've been promoted.
Right, so the Vorta...
It's fine, I've got to have some serious questions for you in a minute.
Yeah, no shit.
abilities as well.
I've given her hand faces security systems in shipboard tactical.
Makes sense. She's got +1 insight, +1 presence, and +1 reason.
Adam,
Yes.
as a student of war, and as you know,
I'm never leaving the ship again.
I've extensively...
Is it?
I've
I'm staying all
You're
day.
not allowed to go on the way missions. That's it.
I've extensively researched Dominion War, the tactics, the Jem'Hadar, all that stuff
Mhm.
for personal reasons, not for science reasons.
Mhm.
Have I ever
So,
read?
the numbers to put in the boxes and the line above, and then we'll add the species ones, yeah? And then 3 foci as well.
No, you've got the numbers. You share them out.
Alright.
Have I ever? Was there? And I'm a Cardassian, so I've got eidetic memory.
Mhm.
Did I ever read about Jem'Hadar beaming in without any technology or weapons and only blades, and why that may have been, or anything along those lines?
Well, you've got the... Well, I'll tell the two
Or
experts. 'cause
scientifically, do I think of anything?
These guys know these guys are the two experts on the Jem'Hadar and their various different tactics. They formed the report that Dan read before. So I can... I won't need to email it to Dan, but I'll show it to you later. So, you know that, the Jem'Hadar famously quite good at hiding.
Yep.
For quite some time.
Their cloak stuff,
But
and
not
all
beaming in or that kind of thing. But
Okay.
again, these particular Jem'Hadar have been known to be playing with genetic technology and trying to improve themselves in weird ways.
Mhm.
So you're not quite sure that might have done something. You'd know that these are the inheritors of the founders. They are a group that was very small until a couple of years ago, but they captured a lot of genetic facilities, and then they went. Then they seem to have found something a couple of years ago. There were lots of rumours as to what it was, but it drew like loads of Jem'Hadar to them from other smaller factions in the Gamma Quadrant, and they increased their numbers significantly. You do recognise the ones here that are all like true inheritors, in that they were made by they're newly coded. You don't, unfortunately, intelligence is quite rare on them because they're quite aggressive and quite good at finding people. But you and the captain would probably know that they could have snuck in on any number of trading ships, and they might have an improved version of the Shroud that means that they may not be detectable.
And their genetic engineering allows them to be less detectable, and no energy signatures makes that even better.
Mm-hmm.
So they're Gamma Quadrant based.
Yes. Because I'll show you the entire briefing later, and you can decide what the rest of your vision was. I'll give you some ideas later, but again...
Yep.
So I'm going to go over, stand in a corner with Commander Tovon and Captain Edu, and I'm just going to say to you...
And Lieutenant Jane.
Yes,
No,
Jane.
and be like, Commander, find a way to initiate Tetrion Field.
I'll do my best, Captain.
Tetrion Fields stop the use of energy.
Okay. So you've got probably about
Sharp
10
things.
Starfleet and 30 sort of Jem'Hadar
It's okay.
all with blades.
I've got a com badge. It's fine. I can initiate a Tetrion field.
Yes, but all we need to do is get a couple of the phases off of them, and then there's 10 Starfleet with phases, and a lot less Jem'Hadar.
Yeah, but not if you've done the Tetrion field. I'm just saying that.
And then we're all hand-to-hand combat with Jemadar.
Yeah.
Yay!
They'll win.
I'm just not sure that you want to go, I see what we need to do. We need to make this entirely hand-to-hand.
I'm not going to
famously
try...
better with range weapons.
I'm not going to try and build a Tetrion.
They will take your Type 1 phaser away from you, I'm afraid. Actually, you could have tried to hide it, but they will search you. So let's see if they notice.
So can I roll to hide it?
No, it's not a roll to hide.
Okay.
It's a sort of. I'm trying to remember the stats on here. Do we have Type 1 phaser stats? Oh, we do have Type 1 phaser stats. It has hidden 1, so it's difficulty 1 to find it.
Okay.
But they might.
The Jemadar. Security and something or other. Yeah, I've done it. Yeah.
I could roll badly.
Ooh.
I can tell you, we'll say to her, Captain, I could try and rationalise with him about the true trajectory of the Founders, but I'm not sure he's going to listen or like it.
Always try.
I would very much like to know how we got into this situation.
It can only have been done with someone on the inside. Ido would trust her. Is it him or her? Sorry, Ido.
Her.
I assume I'm in...
No, Ido.
Ida.
I'm
Ido.
assuming I'm a new batch.
Women.
I'm assuming I'm a new batch.
Yes.
Trusts
I am not.
her security officer.
One of the Dominion's founders. Forta. I was born over here. Thank you very much. For
My
being
security
Starfleet,
officer has proved us.
sir.
That is not what I was questioning, Lieutenant. Clearly been lax in security measures.
It's like an inside job.
Out of my memory, do I remember there were loads of other ships docked?
Oh yeah, there were loads.
Yeah.
Carlin's full, and there were, well, more or less
and
full,
like
but loads.
odd ships that weren't Federation ones, things that have come from the Gamma Quadrant.
Yep. No, there was a Dosai ship. There was a Ferengi trading ship that wasn't part of Lita Inc. There was another ship from the you vaguely recognised from the Gamma Quadrant, but you didn't remember seeing a
Yeah, just
a name.
like odd Gamma Quadrant ships.
Yeah. There was at
Okay.
least 3 from the Gamma Quadrant.
There are a significant number of Gamma Quadrant vessels docked at your station when we
Yes.
arrived.
And it's not illegal
We
to
have
exist
security
whilst
measures
being
for
a
this sort
Jemadar.
of thing.
It's not illegal for Jemadar to exist either.
We've had Starfleet has had security protocols for Jemadar infiltration since the war.
Can I make some sort
Particularly
of
in this
command
place.
roll
Yes.
to remember that kind of thing? To see if I can be like, so why are there not, if that's the case, then why are there 30 Jemadar in this
They've
room
been
about to blow the
clearly-
station up?
It's
Clearly been
clearly-
experimenting
Very
on
good
themselves.
question.
Like I said, you don't need to make a roll. You reckon it's probably something to do with their genetic experimentation. That means that you've had protocols against normal Jemadar, but these guys
Well-
have just been messing with themselves. So
My
In which
hypothesis,
case,
exactly.
my origins and my orb experience might be enough to distract him at least for a little bit. But should we wait for me to really need to distract him?
Yes.
We need a plan.
A verbal distraction could mean that one of us could do a technological solution. Are they gathered in any particular area?
no. Well, there's probably like 3 with phasers pointing
Near
at you,
us,
look, guys.
yeah.
Could lower the shield.
But no, they're kind of all over, and there's probably another 5 sort of around, again with another couple of phasers next to the lift.
We lowered the shields.
But they seem to
The
have also
Enterprise beam
more or
over
less disabled the
security.
lift. It's still open in there, but they're sort
Well,
of
they
saying
could,
someone
but-
tries to climb up, maybe, I don't know. On the doors, but no, they're kind of spread around the whole of
I mean, this
Okay.
this is
They're
a
all gathered round one control panel.
Damn lads. No.
Hey, look at this, guys.
No, Captain,
Well,
the
Starfleet-
the premise guy has gone to sit
Starbase,
down
the
and let them make
the
him
Enterprise
honest.
is docked. The shields would be around it, be within the shields.
So why could the Enterprise beam personnel over if it was within
The shields.
Shields
Unless they're
are-
jamming or scattering. I'm going to
So
sort
why
of go,
can't we just-
I'm really tired, and like turn around and sit down. And have they taken my science tricorder off?
As I
me?
said, why do they take tricorders?
Yeah,
What can you
okay.
do with the tricorder?
So I'm gonna open up my tricorder and
Yes.
like try and get someone to the
captain
captain.
there.
Federation logo. Like, whoa!
I told you it was an incredibly loud opening message on your tricorder.
I'm pressing the volume down on the side.
We all told you
So I'm going to
about
dial
that
it. I'm going to
graphic
dial it
display.
down. I'm going to dial it down before I open it up.
If he's going to do that, I'll get him to stand over there and create a distraction by opening it.
Sure, you can look at this.
This is like the equivalent of a frontline Starfleet outpost.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have a significant security garrison. So if we can like stop the jamming,
But 100 of them have probably beamed into the security garrison of fighting the security people right now.
Or
Anyway,
blocks them
I'm
out
gonna
somehow.
get the.
Well, like I say, you're captain. You know that, and for security reasons, there's like a separate shield stroke security fields around ops, and there's lots of different levels of shielding on the station. So if one of the ships on one of the docking pods starts to fire at the station, it would take a while to get through, just in case.
Yeah, makes sense. I'm gonna scan. So I'm gonna get my tricorder out, and I'm gonna scan the Jem'Hadar around us, and then I'm gonna try and see if I can get some sort of signal out to the Enterprise.
Lieutenant Commander, if I may, the thought occurs. Though I appreciate that thing has modified itself quite considerably and not apparently all to the better, I very much doubt that they have bred telepathy into Jem'Hadar.
No, they're probably using some sort of radio telepathy or communicator embedded in them.
And they're already communicating with other
Cortex.
people on the station with them.
Other groups.
Can we piggyback on any of their signals?
Well, that's why I want to scan them, so I can try and get any frequencies.
Also, can you use your tricorder to uplink with the station system and perhaps beam them out?
I will try, but that's a lot to do all in a few minutes, so, Captain, I will do my best.
So you've got a few other people trying to do this kind of thing, but I think because it's towards the end of time, I think because it's
10 o'clock, yeah.
5 past.
Mhm.
We'll do one last bit with Zelvok back on the planet, sort of beaming into this. Yeah, again, big. Mostly it's a big transporter bay, and it's people in and out and that kind of thing. It's still everything looks more or less fine here, apart from they probably sort of it's red alerting and similarly.
Zelvok is going to be basically
Oh,
trying
there's
to
also Jem'Hadar, right?
completing a tactical analysis.
It looks fine down there. So they're trying to get through to the station and things still, and you're doing like I say, an
Also want
analysis.
Enterprise to be seeing if they can get past the jamming frequency.
Oh yeah, they're definitely trying to.
And get a scan of what's going on.
And yeah, on a sort of piggyback of one of the, the Enterprise says that it's getting a signal and then sort of, passes it through to you. And, but it's just like audio only. It seems to be from near, one of the sort of on the what's on the middle ring? Is that quarters and stuff?
The inner one.
Because there's the ring, then there's the centre, and then there's the outer.
Yeah, that's quarters, promenade. Yeah, quarters.
So it's quarters and stuff on that. So it probably wouldn't be on that one. It would probably be,
I thought a lot of the quarters and stuff were on the outermost ring of the
It's
docking.
like the docking ring. I don't think they had all the... There's docking ring, habitation, and then
Promenade's right in the
promenade
middle.
right in the middle.
promenade and ops.
It's
and
got
stuff.
the big oval
Okay.
windows around the,
Yeah,
the
okay.
central
Yeah.
ring.
Also, they may have slightly altered the
True.
layout in
Yeah,
the
true,
intervening
true,
X many
yeah.
years.
So actually, no, you get. I know where you'll get one from. From inside. Well, you don't know. It's coming from inside the temple of the Emissary. Can anyone hear me? Anyone hear me out there?
This is Commander Zelvok.
I'm. Did they ever give names to low-level priests? 'Cause I can't think of anything but Vedic right now.
They did.
Ah.
Monk?
Anyway, yeah,
Quick.
monk. I'm brother. Need a name now.
Oh.
You got Bajor name lists?
Senba. Could be.
Zenva.
Senba.
Senva.
Are you a middle-class, aging, balding man with white vest on then? You're a wrong guy.
This is Brother McLean.
Action Bajor and monk. Plane of the prophets. This is Brother Senba. They've taken most of the priests or killed other ones, but I managed to hide and I've managed to get into the communications signal.
Who has?
There's, well, I don't know, dozens. Well, I've seen 10. I don't know, Jem'Hadar, but I don't recognise them. Well, they look a bit weird. They look strange. I don't. They don't. We managed to lock the orb room, but they've not managed to get in yet. But they don't really seem that interested in it. They just seem to be playing with, doing something with the conduits.
Right.
It's kind of distorting. It's cutting in and out a bit, but it's hard to do that. Plus, it's probably not great for microphones.
Remain calm, brother. Stay hidden.
Krylar.
Keep this channel open,
Sure.
and we will communicate with you further. Stay safe. Stay quiet.
I'll try. And then there's a...
Die, Bajor priest!
then there's a sort of... no! And then a phaser noise. Sounds like a Starfleet phaser noise.
Set to kill.
Ah!
Is it set to kill or heavy stun?
Can I tell by the
He can tell. He knows the noise of a kill phaser.
You can hear the dust falling to the ground.
Oh, wow. I'm going to fuck these guys up.
It's just going to go through like...
Mind meld!
Is there any way...
Yes.
So, Starbase 459 has holographic projectors like the Enterprise. Is there any way we can hack the projectors and rather than beam personnel aboard, we can just create some
Activate emergency security
holograms?
You could try, but you've not got a huge amount of bandwidth on this communication-y thing. And unsurprisingly, not long after you hit the face, you hit the person, you hear that this seems to go dead as well. But you could, if you get another signal in, perhaps.
What about Enterprise? How are they doing?
Well, there's significant amounts of force fields, so trying to hack around, pile over, but they've not got through yet to any useful system or anywhere they can connect through, and they've not managed to get through the jamming yet.
If they wanted to, would they be able to break free?
Of the pylon, yes.
But not out of the force field bubble.
It would be hard. I mean, it's kind of like ramming a
Plus,
ship.
for all we know, they could be taking fire from a space station.
Yeah.
Out is easy enough. I thought shields were generally monodirectional.
Are they?
Well, I mean, you've got the interference of the electrostatic field, but in terms of because you can fire out of your own shields.
But that's because you know the modulation of it, and that's built into your weapons.
It's a Starfleet.
It's a Federation station.
Yeah,
Sure.
do we know the modulation?
Unless they've changed the modulation of the shields, we should know the modulation.
Go really slowly. Just go. Dunk. No. Change modulation. Dunk. No. Change modulation.
There's a lot. There's quite a range.
So here's a question. It's currently, airlock connected.
Yes.
Is the airlock connected to a holographic section of the starship? Or
Yes, it would be. It would be.
Yeah, good shout.
We
just change it and then leave.
Change what?
The shape of the ship, so it's no
But
longer
you're still
connected.
inside the shields.
But
that's a good point,
if it's
actually,
a Federation,
if
it's a Starfleet space station, we'll probably have a log of what the modulation is somewhere. So we might be in with a chance.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
If you do it quickly.
If you get to the point with the holographic ship, you can easily disconnect.
yeah, if we
What they're trying to do currently is they're trying to break through with like phasers and energy
quickly
and
change
cutting
the.
Well, they're using cutting tools, whatever you use to try to.
Oh
break
no,
through.
and yeah,
No, that's
the
brilliant.
Gemini.
So what you do is you let them in part of the holographic ship.
And then turn it off. Yeah. Do that.
No, the Gemini aren't trying to break in. The Enterprise crew are trying to break into the station.
Oh, okay, right, gotcha.
Right, let's
Yeah,
not turn it off.
No, right, so that's Enterprise's orders. So Enterprise's orders are to
but
change.
obviously they'll pull it.
Yeah. They've got their things.
Is there not?
It's just in bubbles bouncing off various shields.
There's a couple of guys just left on the outside of the dock.
No, it's not.
Yeah, we
Is
just
there
wanted
not
to test
worry
out the
about
combat.
The space station decided to turn its weapons on the Enterprise.
That's
Yeah,
fine. We've
they have
Enterprise
charged
shields.
weapons.
And, yeah, and maybe it'll take a little bit of a
Flagship.
kicking, but
And there's some very strong tractor beams and stuff that they can
But it's not
get hold of.
true.
Get hold of the docked
But
ships
it's not
again.
that it
'cause,
can
yeah.
easily fire
Constantly
back on
change. Do
stations
the
full of
rapid
civilians.
transformation thing, so the tractor beams have a problem
Yeah, it might work.
because it's about the mass and the shape of the ship.
I was going to say, it's
constantly-
tracked it off part of a hull. Fine, we'll just leave it there.
yeah, all
I was
right.
going to say, do tractor beams even work on a holographic hull?
But we've got a solid hull.
This
as well,
all-
so you
this
need to
all
distract
relies on
them
the fact-
from the-
If the Enterprise thinks it is able to get through the station shields, from where it is, we have comms with the Enterprise Are they able to identify if they can get through the station shields from where they are? Through the shield modulation, in fact, that they're inside, not
I
outside.
don't know if you could read it if it's a particular modification, or probably not, otherwise that'd make life easier. So
We've got all the codes as per Wrath of Khan, you know.
Yeah.
Fuck
Or
it, why can't we,
generations.
excuse my friend, can't we just do that?
What?
We've got the...
No, that wasn't codes. That was just modulation.
That was modulation, yeah, not codes.
Well, I hate to say it,
Same
but
thing.
they would have changed the modulation of the
Yes.
shields, I'm afraid. Cause
Yes.
But they would still have the command codes. 'Cause
Yeah, command codes to
Starfleet,
lower
one big
their
happy family.
if you
shields.
could communicate with the station at all, that might work.
So they need to continue trying to jamming.
I mean, to be fair, they could just undock and sort of slide over and then dock directly with the communications array
Again,
and
there's
hardwire in.
another set of shields around the centre.
Yeah. There's like fail-safes for like someone's like a Cardassian Gala warship being like docking, going, "Hey, we're friends." Aha!
I'm inside your shield bubble. I can just destroy your ops.
Yeah.
There's a shield.
Yeah, we've
around,
got a shield.
around. There's an extra, like I say, another layer of shields around the
Yeah.
extra central command thing.
Makes sense.
Because I said that before. If you didn't leave a couple of times in the bubble, they would just be bouncing with the shields.
Torpedo.
Okay. Unfortunately, yes, they have changed the modulation. They do test it in some way, or the track beam or some other non-aggressive fashion, and the modulations have been unfortunately changed because
So
that's stupid,
we still
'cause
need to continue.
you don't take
trying
over a
to
station with at
hack
least
their
planning to do
jamming, hack their jamming.
Yes.
So we need to have the sub base over here at Bajor and the Enterprise working on the same thing.
Indeed. Right. So I think we'll finish there.
Cool.
Monk death.
Monk death.
Freylor death.
Yeah.
Screw you,
Freylor
Monk.
death.
It's a space
Yeah,
death.
Yeah.
basically you've got Kai, which is the Pope.
Yep.
You've got the Vedics, which are like the high-ranking
Yeah,
cardinals or
yeah.
whatever. And you've got Ranjan,
Yeah.
which are the regular priests, and then you've got Prylars, which would be the bog standard
Yeah.
monkey boys.
It's the name, the word you forget.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Okay.
Do it tough on it.
Thank
Cool.
you. Thanks, guys. That was fun.
Yeah, that was really good.
Do you want to
Had
do
a lot
your
of fun.
outro, Peter?
Yes. Thank you very much for watching episode 3. I've forgotten my I had so much fun, I completely distracted.
Zero
of Star Trek Morpheus.
Mm-hmm.
We'll figure out what we call that episode shortly, or this mission. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to go and check out Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Discord, Patreon, Redbubble, Drive-Thru-RPG, Thornless Rose, and all the other stuff. Our other shows, Flint and Steel, and if you're listening to the podcast, I just slapped down in the face because he's mouthing something. Flint and Steel and Vostok's Chance. We're coming soon with D&D 5th edition Planescape, and we're doing a vote at the moment for what other games we should play. It looks like Star Wars Fantasy Flight Games is in the lead. So, looks like we're going to be doing a Star Wars game, but then also Legend of the Five Rings, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Other Strangeness. Wafrup was up there, but we're already doing that. Someone added it in, which is cool. It's cool that people like it. And Dungeons and Doggos, which we're going to have to do at least a
Yes.
one-shot of, because Sam bought the figures.
Yes,
It's-
it's Dungeons and Dragons with tiny little dogs.
Am I right in thinking that you're the only animals in the world?
The world is a little confused.
Okay. So all the bad guys are animals as well?
Some of the bad guys are definitely animals. aren't
Okay. Like, the cats are clearly the evil
they?
overlords.
Well, actually, I think there's going to be an expansion called Cats and Catacombs with cat adventurers.
Oh. Like the evil pie kind of game.
Yeah, this isn't getting confusing at all.
Anyway.
Either way,
Okay.
it's fifth ed with dogs.
Yay!
What's not to like?
And I want to play a bulldog, a French... What was it? A French pit bull
There's a bulldog fighter.
A bulldog fighter.
Yes.
Yes. I think that'd be a lot of fun, because you're tiny, but you're a fighter. Anyway. So... please join us next time. Hopefully you enjoyed that. The nerding out. Please join us next time on Star Trek Morpheus. Bye-bye.